Good evening and welcome to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be covering AMP token and why I bought AMP token. And this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know anything about stocks. I started learning this 7 days ago, and I'm not a computer programmer either. So don't take my advice. This is solely for educational purposes, entertainment purposes, and just my own. I'm just floating this out there into the ether. So AMP token. Why did I buy AMP token? So about a week ago, I started looking back into cryptocurrencies. I've had my other considerations on them in the past, but looking at what's going on a global scale, and especially here domestically, I think that for me personally, getting into crypto was a good decision. And once I looked and saw what was happening with the trends in the market, with certain cryptos and applications, and it sounded like a good decision for me. So I got in. One of the first things that I saw when I got in was the AMP token by Flexa. So one of the biggest things that I feel like just in my 7 days being in the crypto universe is that so many people, in my opinion, I think that a lot of people feel like they're investing into an imaginary coin that's, it doesn't even really, maybe not even exist, and they just hope that it holds its value that it has on the screen. I think that a lot of people feel that way. And I think a lot of people only pay attention to Bitcoin and maybe the first few coins on there. And so this channel is really going to be more about looking at which one of these cryptocurrencies has a sound application behind it that solves a real problem, that has compatibility, scalability, and sound financial backing. I'm not going to get into a bunch of reading graphs and all that other stuff. Because there's so much misdirection that happens within the market, within the media. So many to here, look over here while this is happening, this is spiking on this particular trading platform while this is spiking on another one, and so on and so forth. They tell you this one's going to rise and actually its competitor does. So there's so much misdirection. I feel like one of the best ways that people can feel comfortable with where their assets are is if they understand the application itself, what it does, if it has any real world applicability, and if they really believe it's going to be around a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So that's what I'm going to be covering on this channel, because I feel like that's going to be unique to what's going on in the YouTube space, because for the most part, it's mostly just covering the graphs, the numbers, the projections, which is great, because that's the most important thing. But this is also important. So that's what I want to cover on this channel. So that's what I'll be doing. I already have my next one keyed up. But let's go ahead and get into AMP token. So why am I big on AMP token? Because I believe that the global banking system is going to come down and that cryptocurrency is going to replace it. And it's happening right now, in my opinion. It's going to keep happening. Inflation is going to keep going up. More people are going to go over to crypto, and it is what it is. And that's the way that I see this. So that's why I'm getting in. Again, this is not financial advice. I see this as the future. I see it as the right now. It's the present. And Flexa is a great example of that. So let's say that you go into whatever store it is that you go into, the grocery store, and you pay with your credit card. This is the workflow that is currently used and has been being used forever. Look at how many different touch points you have throughout here. Look at how many different points of vulnerability that you have with these different touch points. So not only is the workflow extremely just outdated and just cumbersome, it also leads to extremely high fraud claims, a lot of disputed claims. It costs corporations billions and billions of dollars every single year to have this particular system set up. So when everybody says different things like, "Oh, they won't accept it," or they're not gonna get into it, or this corporation won't do it, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? So if somebody could please answer that, why would they want to continue doing this, losing billions of dollars, opening their company up to risk? Why would they want to do all that? Have to pay so much more for security just to defend against this particular outdated system? Why would they want to keep doing that? They wouldn't, right? They open themselves up. So current system, which is failing, and for some reason people can't wait. Well, people can't wake up and see it. And then so now you go to the bottom. This is the future system. This is the Flexa network with AMP token. So AMP token has a real application behind it that solves a real problem that's happening right now and has been happening for decades. It costs companies billions of dollars, and it's already being implemented in stores. So where is that? So trusted in over 41,336 locations, right? So including Barnes & Noble, Baskin Robbins, Bed Bath & Beyond, Caribou Coffee, GameStop, Jamba Juice, Lowe's, Nordstrom, Office Depot, Office Max, Regal Cinemas, Whole Foods. Okay. So they are right there at I think, what is this? 1.39 billion as far as their spending capacity on their network. As their spending capacity continues to go up, the value of AMP will continue to go up. Now, I know that they have, I'm not going to get into how many tokens and evaluating them as a company because I said I wasn't going to do that. And I'm probably not qualified to do that. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm very, very big on them because they're already in the marketplace. They're already doing it. They're already there. So they're not some application that maybe a year from now might be able to help improve Ethereum's efficiency. But right now, they're still working out all the kinks. I'm not saying that there's not going to be great investment opportunities and stuff like that. What I'm saying is that too many times, in my opinion, a lot of hype gets caught up in those conversations and stuff like this gets missed. So this is the old system, the old outdated system. This is the new system. So you go to the store, you have your Gemini app that you download on your phone. You can use whatever cryptocurrency that you have on there that you would like to use. And the Flex network protocol integrates directly with whatever system they're using. You go to a particular gas station or grocery store, whatever it may be. You look down at that system that they're using. The Flexa network can adapt to that and integrate with that from everything that I've read. So they wouldn't have to go get new hardware or go get new systems or anything. They would just have to implement the Flex network system. So again, you can use any coin, compatible with any coin, and it will transfer over to any fiat. So there's also another great component to this. So what do people love when it comes to making financial transactions or big payments that they have to make? They love having some sense of insurance or assurance that their particular payment or whatever transaction is going to be valid, and they're not going to come out, they're not going to come out on the short end of the stick for whatever reason. So that is what I would say is one of the greatest values to the Flexa network is, so it provides or it facilitates instant verifiable assurances for any pending or future value transfer so that any actions depending on the transfer can proceed without delay. So the example that so many people were using was that if you're paying with Bitcoin, it takes 20 minutes and there's two different, touch points or whatever it may be, or two different confirmations that have to happen. So I don't think anybody's going to be paying with Bitcoin. I understand the concept of it, that the AMP token would go ahead and immediately make sure that the payment went through, and they would make sure that both parties are insured for whatever reason if something went wrong. But I don't think people are going to be paying with Bitcoin moving forward. I think they're going to be paying with the cheaper cryptocurrencies, but all the same, those other cryptocurrencies, many of them will have different degrees of how quickly they're able to be moved. And a lot of times there will be different times where maybe the spending crypto, let's just say it's Dogecoin or whatever it's going to be, the one that most people spend as far as their spending money. Whatever coin that's going to be, that might change over time. There might be a few different ones, and some might spike and some might go down. And so that's why the Flexa network is such a great value add, because it's compatible with every single crypto. So every single asset, digital or physical. That's what I mean when I say scalability. Now, as far as their back-end infrastructure, how much they're able to support on that end, I have absolutely no idea, right? That's not my particular area of expertise, but I don't know how many companies they have the bandwidth to take on. They might have as many companies on board right now as they can afford to take on, or they might just be ramping up and ready to go, and this is just how they wanted to roll everything out. It does seem like they have gone through all the proper steps as far as making sure their system is validated, making sure their system is audited, and making sure they have a body of work to be able to show we have a successful product that adds value to the market. And now we're bringing it out to the market, to the big players. What happens when Walmart announces that they're going to be taking on the Flexa network, or when one of the other big box players, and they're going to be putting them in all of the different stores? It's just, where is there a competitor to this? Please go find me somebody who is this far down the road with a system that is comparable to this, that has the sound financial backing that this company has. and that's already has this many partnerships. Go find me another company that is this far down the road that has these exact features and functionalities, and please let me know. I don't see one. So if I don't see one out there, if I don't see a solution that's comparable to this, that's a solid competitor that right now and they're ready to go, then who are these companies going to use when they start accepting cryptocurrency? The Flexa network, they have no other choice because there's no other competitors out there right now. And the thing is that people don't, we have to start looking into the applications behind it, if there's any competitors or not. Like I think that I go and I talk and I chat and all the videos on the AMP videos. I'm just like, thank you all for noticing this. And I'm sure other people have noticed this too, but they're not buying because there's too many coins or it's going to take too long for the price to go up. And I totally understand that. I'm just saying, as far as even a short-term investment, I still think it's great, but long-term investment, I mean, what if they adopt these at every single big box store? What if this just gradually happens over time? It's already started. I'm not saying it's going to, continue to take over everything right now, but if they gradually continue announcing more and more companies are going to be taking cryptocurrency, they have to have some type of a system to make that go. And they have to have some type of a system to ensure that transaction goes on both parties and that both parties stay whole. So I'll explain how they do that. They have a pool of AMP tokens that they just have sitting in the ether somewhere. So there's two different, there's the consumer and then there is the merchant. And the consumer makes the transaction, merchant gets the money, so on and so forth. But let's just say that something happens with that transaction and it doesn't go according to plan or whatever it may be. That pool of AMP tokens automatically liquidates whatever that particular cost is to make sure that both parties are whole. Like adds so much value. And the idea of ensuring what your transactions, this is a phenomenal idea. It really is. It's essentially insuring transactions, providing insurance for transactions for cryptocurrency, and it's compatible with every single digital asset and physical asset. So, do you think that this is more likely to be attractive to corporations, or that this is more likely to be attractive to them? Just think it through, people. Listen, they can't announce. What would happen if these companies all announced this in one day? People would freak out, right? I think they know that, right? So I think that they understand that. If companies come out and everybody says, hey, we're moving to crypto, people are going to freak out and rush to banks. I think that these corporations are responsible enough to make sound announcements on when they decide to move forward with this type of system, if they decide to do so. They're also partnered with NCR. NCR is a huge company. NCR is a huge company. This is okay. So again, asset agnostic, full suite of AMP functionality is universally compatible with any form of value transfer, Okay, so and can be used to facilitate instant, irreversible transactions for any type of asset. Okay, find me some other company that has this good of a product, and it wouldn't be, if it was a crap product, it wouldn't be in these stores right now. And if it is a crap product, we'll probably find out about it before too long because they probably won't keep it in there. But if they continue to add more companies, it's not financial advice. I'm just saying, do your own research. Do not listen to me. This is not financial advice, but I think AMP is one of the best investments that I could have made, especially being an early on investor. Now I'm going to do another one on my next video, sneak peek. Yep, look this one up. I feel like I have a very similar, it's going to be a very similar video to AMP. I'm just going to be going over the different things about why I feel like Orchid is really going to take off. And again, I'm very big on these tokens or these cryptos or whatever you want to call them, shares, whatever you want to call them, in applications that are ready to go to market, that have very little, if any, competitors, that are compatible, they're scalable, and they have sound financial backing, and there is a real need for them in the market. Ask yourself those questions before you invest. Well, don't take my advice on that, but I ask those questions before I invest in anything, or in any of these particular coins. So that's going to be my whole page, is going over the value add of these applications, whether or not their applications even exist. and how quickly I think that this could become something that's being used out there in the real world, because that's a game changer. It's a game changer, right? When you can go buy Orchid, but then also download the Orchid VPN app on your phone. I mean, y'all do what you want to do with your funds. I'm just saying that I want to see some. I want to see some, like, there's actual proof of a product that's scalable and solves a problem before. And sometimes that you're not always going to have that, and I get that. But that's really big for me, especially before when I'm looking into something like this, because a lot of these, in my opinion, are just going to be used to pump and dump, and their applications are crap. They're never planning on taking them to market. They're just going to be used to pump and dump. They're going to short against them, and that's going to be that. So current system going to get just continue to get wiped away, and then we're going to be moving to the future system. It's the future. It is what it is. People just need to accept it. Resistance is futile at this point. So that's all I have for this video. I don't know if Flexa has their own YouTube channel. If not, they need to get one. If I need to be the hype guy to get this started for the Flexa network, let me know. I've heard from a couple different videos or a couple different things that they weren't really big on pushing this out early on. Maybe they didn't want everybody to buy up all their tokens. Who knows? Maybe they didn't want a big whale to come in and buy up tons and tons and tons of tokens. I would understand that at very cheap cost, because they know they have a phenomenal product, and they know they're going to scale, and they know they're going to take over the particular space that they're in. That's all I have for this video. I hope I did a good job of going over. There's a lot more things to this, so go do your own research on the investors and everything else. But that's all I have for this video. The next video will be Orchid. But do not listen to me. Do your own research. This is not financial advice. That's all I have for this video. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.